making of the film was indeed a fabulous experience all around, yes. I got invited to a party that was already great, so being invited to the party was the exciting part, especially when you get to see characters that you're already in love with, and then you get to play with them. That was the joy. But then on top of it, discovering the costumes and the brilliant wigs and like everything that made us into the characters, and seeing and being on these incredible sets or walking through Monrolasia and feeling like, wow, I really am in a fairy tale was so fun.
The making of Disenchanted was an absolute, I hate to say dream come true, but because it sounds so cliche, but it really was. We were really fortunate to be in a beautiful place, Ireland, with such welcoming people. We had an amazing story to tell, and we had such skilled and inspired craftspeople working with us. I could just go on about the costumes, about the sets, like Maya said, our cast, the music. There was just so much to get invested in, and to do it in a place that really felt so magical was a real treat.
I'm gonna have to agree with Amy that the making of this film was a dream come true, as cliche as it is. It definitely changed my life. To be able to step into this world that was already so established, the enchanted universe almost, was just so fun. Like, we really got to play. Like, every day just brought a new challenge, a new game almost, a new something to make larger than life. And I think just getting to work with this group of people that was so passionate and so invested and so excited, the cast, the crew, the entire team, was just excited to be there. And I think that changes the entire experience when everyone is just so invested and so almost in love with the project.
Yeah.
It was magical.
Yeah.
Producing this film was a very unique experience for me, because I've produced other things, but never something that I was involved with 10 years previous, or as it was 11 or something. So I had such a deep understanding of the characters and sort of where I saw their journey. So it was wonderful to get to contribute to where Giselle might be and what she might be feeling and what is her evolution. So that was something that I was grateful to be sort of on at the starting line with, because I really got to help build Giselle and this world that we create in Disenchanted. Then also got to be a part of bringing wonderful talent together, Maya and Gabby, and Jema and Yvette, just really getting to be a part of putting a fabulous team together. That was a real gift and a real privilege for me.
I think the funniest part about playing a fairy tale character and a real world character is I think the funniest part about playing a character that is in the fairy tale world and is also in the real world, I think, is almost the opposite of their demeanors. My character Morgan, we see how funny and sarcastic and kind of teenager, she's got the eye roll, she's got the sarcasm, and then all of a sudden she comes flying down the stairs one day and she is this twittering, chirpy mini Giselle.
She's the ingenue.
Exactly. And I think Morgan never necessarily saw herself as that role in the story, and I think it's so interesting to step into completely different shoes while also having the essence of who you are inside. And I think it kind of gets to tell the story that not all ingenue princesses are necessarily the same. It's not always the same chasing after the prince.
Exactly.
Or princesses
I love
can
that
save
about
the
Morgan.
day.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, I knew that the fairy tale version of Malvina could only go even further in its arch sort of insanity of being awful, like pushing it to the limit. And that was really fun. And also really fun knowing that there was a place to go even further, was the excitement when we were playing the real world version. But for me, Malvina's real world version is so far from a real human being anyway, that it was exciting to know that you could lay the groundwork in the real world, knowing that it was going to get far more exaggerated. And that was the fun too of learning when we would find out what we were going to be wearing and what we would look like. You know, you start here to end here, and all of that was such a fun game to be a part of, you know.
Well, playing Giselle has always been sort of a tightrope walk because we're playing someone who has to be really believable and earnest. And getting to play her with this sort of duplicity is really wonderful because, again, we're playing on an archetype, but we're able to, you know, we have such great resources in all of the previous Disney films that have been laid out before us, how it's almost like a map of archetypes, and you can choose different qualities and characteristics from all of them. So Giselle's sort of an amalgamation of a lot of different princesses, and as she turns, she becomes this mix of different villains. So it's wonderful to be able to dive into that lexicon of Disney classics and sort of find inspiration. And that's something I've always really enjoyed, is kind of sort of taking little pieces from different characters through history and getting. That's what's so fun about Enchanted, is it sort of has its own rule set, and it's really fun because it's almost like no rules, and it's so freeing. Yeah,
It's like a toolbox.
it is. Yeah.
Yeah, my audition for this, it was all done over Zoom. I met Amy over Zoom. We read together a few times. And for my last, what I thought was audition, I was told I had to come back in and read one more time. I sat down on Zoom, and our director, Adam, he said, "Oh, there's just been a few script changes. We want to send you the new material. I'm just going to put it in your chat for you, and I'll send you the new lines." And I'm freaking out. I'm like, I have to cold read new lines right now with Amy Adams
so
on
mean.
Zoom. And I open up the chat window, and he's like, "Are you reading?" I said, "Yeah." He just sends, "Congrats, here, Morgan." No words.
Yeah,
no
it's really cool.
words. You know, just to be able to hear that news too. Like, how often do you get the chance
You
to
handled
hear
it like everything. You handled it with such grace and dignity.
Thank you.
I'm glad somebody wasn't there when they told me I was going to be playing Giselle, because that was not that graceful.
Did you just rip the curtains off the walls? And
I
like,
was walking down. Honestly, are you guys okay? Well, can we
Yes,
digress? I was in Birmingham, Alabama, shooting Talladega Nights.
Oh.
And I remember I was walking down the street, I got a call, and I'm just walking down the street by myself, and they said, "You got Giselle." And I think I started hopping up and down like a bunny by myself in downtown Birmingham. Yeah.
I had to keep
There you
it
go.
together.
Not to make it about me, but
No, you guys were watching. I was like,
You
I'm
were
not
so
gonna scream.
graceful.
I'm not gonna cry. I'm gonna cry.
you
I'm
were
crying.
fantastic.
I'm not going to cry. I'm crying.
Yeah, there's.
As you should. We were so lucky to have her. We are so lucky to
I'm
have
so
her.
lucky to join you guys.
Hey, I'm just lucky to be here.